going through these files, yet there's no way that SCP-999 can be considered safe in our database. There's no way. Absolutely not. Now, yes, it's technically safe. Like, I've been studying it, of course. It's safe, yes. But it's not safe. Not by the SCP Foundation's own standards. There are there's many, but there's three main classifications that especially these earlier ones use. This is not safe. It's as safe as the Scarlet King, because it's a child, he has 7. A child of the Scarlet King cannot be considered safe. Neither can the Scarlet King himself be considered safe. And he is. But at least 682 is not. 682 is a reptile, unkillable. Also a child of the Scarlet King. These are the two factually children. We know of the 2. There are 5 others. The likelihood is that the one is SCP-096. The other is SCP-035, which is a porcelain mask. 096 is considered Euclid, and 035 is considered Keter, which is the same as 068. The lizard. If the lizard is considered Keter, basically all of the children are considered Keter. So I should go over what they are. These are the 3 main. There's Keter, Euclid, and safe. Very few things are safe. Safe in the SCP Foundation only means that it does not move. That's basically the classification of not moving. If it does not move, then it is safe. Now, yes, things can be safe, as in how we use the term, but as in... I'll go find... One moment. It's somewhere around here. It's in one of these. I'll pull it up in one moment once I find it. Got it. Okay, now I have to figure out how to pull it up. Anyway, Keter means impossible to keep contained forever. Euclid means you can contain it, but there's a possibility that it will escape. Safe means you can easily contain it, and there's no chance that it's ever gonna leave. It's SCP, Secure, Contain, and Protect. The classification is under containment. We also have others, like there's code black, code red, code yellow, I think. Those codes that do safety. That's a whole different classification. I don't even know a lot about it. But there is no way. Here we go. Here is the documentations. First up, I'll just read a little bit of excerpt of the SCP-999 file. And you should be able to see this. SCP-999 is allowed to freely roam the facility should it desire to. but otherwise must stay in its pin either between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for sleeping or during emergency lockdowns for its own safety. First, I have questions about only staying in its room 1 hour for sleeping, but subject is not allowed out of its pin at night or off facility grounds. So that's not 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. That sounds more like 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. They seem to not care about their filing systems, because all of these files are messed up in some way or form. Like, they clearly do not care a lot about order, and they're supposed to, by the definition of being. They're not professional in these documents. But here we go. Addendum SCP-999-A. Reminder to all staff, SCP-999 is not to consume caffeinated soft drinks of any kind. Last week someone gave SCP-999 a can of cola along with its usual breakfast. Not only was it literally bouncing off the walls for half an hour, the carbonation made SCP-999 visibly queasy afterwards, and refused to move or eat the rest of the day. SCP-999 has thankfully recovered since, but the staff member in question has been reprimanded. That is not safe by the SCP Foundation's standards. So let me read what safe means. Safe class. SCP objects are anomalies that are easily and safely contained. This is often due to the fact that the Foundation has researched the SCP well enough via a specific and conscious activation or trigger. Classifying an SCP as safe, however, does not mean that handling or activating it does not pose a threat. Exactly. So, by this standard, SCP-096 and SCP-999 are both the same. So they would both be safe. But no, SCP-096 is Euclid, because it can get out. SCP-999 also can get out. The only difference is that SCP-999 does not hurt anyone. So if it does not hurt anyone, it's safe in our dialogue, but not in the Foundation's catalog. That's not how it works. So why would they do that? It's not professional to not be consistent. Now I'll go on. Euclid class SCP objects are anomalies that require more resources to contain completely, or where containment isn't always reliable. Usually this is because the SCP is insufficiently understood or inherently unpredictable. Euclid is the object class with the greatest scope, and it's usually a safe bet that an SCP will be in this class if it doesn't easily fall into any of the other standard object classes. So it's default. Euclid is default. So SCP-999 by default should be Euclid, but it's not, which is defying their own rules. They do this a lot. They violate as many rules of their own rules, and I've read a lot of this stuff. I've read almost everything. They've started posting a lot of stuff that I don't like, and that's just bad content. So I don't really read everything anymore, but I used to read everything. Like the first 1,000 SCPs I know very well. Now, the ones nowadays are just bad, so I really need to start researching more, because of course I am a scientist, right? But going on, Keter, actually I can pull that up. Keter class SCP objects are anomalies that are exceedingly difficult to contain consistently or reliably, with containment procedures often being extensive and complex. The Foundation often can't contain these SCPs well due to not having a solid understanding of the anatomy or lacking the technology to properly contain or counter it. A Keter SCP does not mean the SCP is dangerous, just that it is simply very difficult or costly to contain. See, it has nothing to do with safety. Just because SCP-999 is technically safe, it should not be in the classification of safe. There's also Thumule, which is the fourth main class, which I don't really have clearance for, but I do know a lot about it because I'll just leave it at that. I know a lot about all of it. Apollyon, Archon, Cernius, Sadigas are the next. Explain, neutralized, decommissioned, pending, uncontained, esoteric objects. I think those are pretty self-evident. And you can open up the file yourself. Like, you can read all of this. It's clearly that SCP-999 should be Euclid. And then also SCP, well, it doesn't have a number. The Scarlet King should be Keter, because that's what it originally was. This guy. This guy definitely should be Keter. He's the same thing as this one. Both SCP-682 and SCP, the children of the Scarlet King. Any child of the Scarlet King is evil. You can just read Dust and Blood